Our favorite former national security officer, Dave, called in and shared his thoughts on Trump's disastrous Middle Eastern policy. Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Dave in Federal Way, Washington. Hey, Dave, what's on your mind?
Yeah, hey, fascinating is a word for it, Tom. But as far as the Pentagon goes, I want to make a quick comment about that. I was surprised. I would say shocked when the Pentagon released the statement that Soleimani was killed by the order of the President of the United States.
That was their first words. That would be, pursuant to an order from the president, or some words to that effect. They literally started the sentence with that, with Donald Trump.
We never do that. There's this long-standing tradition in the military. If your boss gives you an order and you don't agree with it, but it's lawful, you don't blame your boss. You just execute the order. You never blame the boss. All right, that's like a military code, and we never did that. I mean, it's highly unusual. So that right there indicates there's some trepidation at the highest levels of the Pentagon. Right, and that's going to cause some exodus, a brain drain, for lack of a better word. And I want to also criticize these comments by General Spider Marks. All right, Marks, who's
I'm not familiar with those comments.
Well, General Marks was responding to Democratic Congressman Chris Murphy from Connecticut. He questioned the timing of this attack on Iran. And General Marks said, he made a really pithy little, he said, Congressman Murphy needs to just, be quiet and listen. All right. And then he went on to say that, and everybody chuckled in the newsroom, and he went on to say that the killing of Soleimani was a result of a detailed target package with pattern of life. He went on to just really divulge classified information. Now, the reason why I'm critical of this is because you've got to analyze this critically. If you're sitting in Moscow, you're sitting in Beijing, and you are looking at international law calling this an assassination, what did General Marks just describe? Premeditation. Right? He just described premeditated assassination of a leader. They're sitting there. Beijing and Moscow are making an account of all of this, and Americans should be worried. But here's the thing. We have an off ramp here. We have an off ramp. I don't know. The universe must love us. There is an off ramp, and it comes via the Parliament of Iraq. All right, they want to expel U.S. soldiers, troops from their borders, right? Well, everybody's up in a tizzy about that. But check this out, Tom. We're sending 3,500 additional soldiers. Trump is sending 3,500 additional soldiers to Iraq.
No, Dave. They're not going to Iraq. They're going to Kuwait.
Well, Kuwait. All right.
It's a staging place for Iraq, but they have not been introduced into Iraq yet, and there's been no announcement that they're going to be.
But all that is a token. That is a token force. All right, everything in Iraq right now, if you put more people in Iraq, or Kuwait for that matter, because Iran can definitely reach Kuwait, all you're doing is increasing the target pool. All right. So you want to intimidate Tehran, right? Trump, here's what you need to do. You need to get the force level of Iraq equivalent to what it was during the surge when I was there. You need to have about 150,000 U.S. soldiers. Then you will get Tehran's attention. But below that, they're not sweating it. All you're doing is increasing the target pool. And then if Iraq does expel, through congressional mandate, does expel U.S. soldiers, all right, we can use that to say, look, we support democracy. We support democratic solutions. All right, and because you've got to remember, Tom. Look, all these places, the borders are porous. We in America are under such tight control, we don't realize how impoverished. We're under tight control because of the wealth of our nation. These countries like Iran and Afghanistan and Uzbekistan and Tajikistan, I could go down the list, they are so incredibly, even Pakistan, who's a nuclear-armed country, those borders are so completely porous, and they are defined by abject poverty, Tom. These people just move, not unlike herds of cattle. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't mean to be crude, but they're so impoverished.
Well, some of the people are actually nomads. I mean, they are pastoralists. They have animals and they move them as the seasons change, so that and the vegetation changes.
Walls aren't going to stop them. Mixed in with those nomads are terrorists. All right, if you will, if you want to use that word.
Yeah.
Trump's going to use that word like the Uzbek Islamic movement or Lashkar-e-Taiba who attacked Mumbai so brazenly. Look, he can connect all of those to Iran. Why? Because they travel through there. For crying out loud, we've been in Iran for years, and I'm not talking Iraq. Dave's not getting confused here, okay? We have been in Iran for years. They don't even care or know. Here's the deal. To answer your question, Trump, if he retains some smart people like George Bush did, Trump's going to get by with this and possibly accidentally put us in World War III.
Yeah.
All right?
That's my fear.
And God bless, Chris Murphy, God bless, Bernie Sanders and everybody else raising this. But Elizabeth Warren, but here's the problem. If there is some sort of attack and Trump's people can link it, no matter how, speciously to Iran, well, all those people criticizing him are going to look, they're going to look like they supported weakness instead of strength. You know how it goes, Tom.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why people like Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden voted for the Iraq War in the first place. They didn't want to be attacked as being wimps. And if it comes down to if that's what this leads to, then it's going to be very, very difficult because voting against war is, could be a real challenge for these people.